What's up, everybody? It's LaVar Arrington here. You see, I am Penn Stated out today because I got one of the Mount Rushmore Penn Staters coming on the show. This year's one of two NFF, National Football Foundation, College Football Hall of Fame ballot finalist, Ki-Jana Carter. He will be joining us. He's from the 1994 undefeated team. We're going to talk about that season. Let me tell you something. This is one of the most detailed conversations that I've ever heard in recounting things that have taken place during the course of a career at the college level and even parts of his high school career. You are not going to want to miss this. Buckle up, get comfortable. If you are a big Penn State fan, this is a treat. If you are a Ki-Jana Carter fan, this will be a treat. Everybody get ready for this one. It needs no more introduction, so you know what happens next, right? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. National Football Foundation, good in the game. It's Ki-Jana Carter. Yeah, I got all my Penn State stuff on. I mean, I usually have my Penn State background up anyway, but I mean, you're a Penn Stater, and you're like one of the Mount Rushmore Penn Staters, and I can just recall there's a lot of key moments, pun intended, maybe not pun intended, that I had connected to you, bro. And I can recall being on the field telling you your time is coming to get into the College Football Hall of Fame. All right. I mean, I think it was because I think Kerry had just went in. I think we were watching Kerry get his picture, and here we are. You are on the ballot for this year. Obviously, have my personal endorsement just based off of what you have represented, not only on the field, but what you have represented off the field. You have been such an example of what a Penn Stater is supposed to be and how we are supposed to represent ourselves. Just talk to me a little bit about, the feeling of being on the ballot and the possibilities of being in the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame.
Well, I appreciate those kind words, young buck. I don't know if I say young, but all that gray,
Yeah.
But no, man. No, honestly, for me, I got a little goosebumps. It's a true honor because I'm a football fan. I'm a sports fan. Number one, obviously, I was good, and I did excel on the field. Not just me, but obviously the help of my teammates, and I was able to do some things on the field that was very, very special. But in the end, I'm like that little kid, still a sports fan. I'm a sports fan now. Watch everything. So I understand. I appreciate legacy and history, and obviously, I was so proud of you when you got inducted to the Hall of Fame. But when I think this is like my third or fourth year that I've been on the ballot, and it's just truly humbling. I don't know like the process if it, every year you got to they got to reapply you to be on the ballot, but for me to even be acknowledged in that realm, saying, "Hey, that people appreciate and the work that I did on the field was even garnished enough to even be even mentioned to be in that type of group or organization is totally flattering, honestly. Because I'm always like, as you know me, I'm humble, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
nah, I don't see it because I see all the greats like you and like I said, my teammate Kerry and Barry Sanders. Go down the list and then saying no, I'm one of the guys that I'm on that list where they're nominating me to be potentially part of this. So it's definitely humbling.
Where did it all start, Key? Like we can come back to where we're at in terms of being on the ballot at a certain point, but where did it all start? I mean, obviously you're from Ohio. Ohio is a football state, and
Yeah.
you know most people don't leave Ohio to go to another school outside of Ohio State. You
Yeah.
did, and you created one hell of a legacy at Penn State. How did how did it start? When did you first start playing? Did you have a hero growing up? Did you model your game after? How did it all
Yeah.
play out for you?
Yeah. So, no, my mom would tell you, I've always been into sports ever since I could walk. I think I had like when I was like 4 or 5, I had a Cincinnati Reds jersey. That I just some of the sports that always stuck to me. So it started for me. I started playing organized football at 10, but in the area that I grew up in, a town called Westerville, Ohio, which is a suburb of Columbus, in our area there was tons of kids, and I lived in a apartment complex called Seasons 4, where I swear probably for every household was probably 2 kids. So it was just kids galore. We had our own softball league. They literally had our own softball league on weekends. They would have tackle football or touch football or whatever it is. Always something sports oriented. So there was a lot of kids in our neighborhood that were older than us, and I've always played with the older kids,
Older
and
guys.
it was something I always enjoyed. But then one day we were playing because we had different courts in the apartment complex, and we were playing in the back of one of the buildings of one of the courts, and one of the parents was out looking because I knew his daughters because the daughters were like a couple years younger than me, but kids, we all play together.
Hmm. Hmm.
He was like, "Hey, would you like to play football?" Like organized football. I'm like, I mean, I play tackle football, backyard football, this and that. But he said, would you like to play organized football? I'm like, yeah. I thought at 10 years old, I had to wait till I got to middle school or high school because it was never brought to my attention that, hey, there's Pee Wee football and things like that. Because the only thing I knew was my apartment complex. That was it.
Hmm.
Didn't travel
Hmm.
really out of it or go to grandma's house.
Hmm.
And then my great uncle, my uncle Nate, he was some of an athlete and he played football in high school. So I told him he was staying with me and my mom for a little bit. And I was like, Uncle Nate, I think I want to play football. And my mom, she already knew. She's like, it's going to happen. So I'm playing tackle football without pads, so it's going to happen.
Might as well put them
So
on,
he
right?
kind of, yeah. So he kind of taught me the kind of ins and outs of football. Not necessarily like lining up, but just like you watch football on TV, but analyzing football is two different things. Being an armchair
Okay.
quarterback, really knowing the game. So he just kind of told me a little bit about it. Obviously, playing backyard football, you kind of knew like receiver, quarterback, and things like
Hmm.
that. So, ironically, my first team that I played for was the Bengals, and that was my. I started that when I was 10 years old. Didn't win a game, but I scored all our team's touchdowns that year. But it was something, we didn't win. I just had fun. It was a team camaraderie thing. So
Hmm.
the next year, I played 3 more years Pee Wee football at our local town, and then I played middle school up. But for me, just like yourself, I loved all sports. So I love
Hmm.
football, I love baseball, I love basketball, I love track. So growing up, when I got to middle school, I played football. Got to middle school, but then when I got to middle school, I played basketball. That was my first love. Love playing basketball. And then during the spring, I ran track, and then the summertime, I played baseball. And so I did that. Then when I got to high school, didn't do baseball. Probably should have kept on playing, but I didn't do it. And I played all three sports all throughout my high school career. And then obviously
Basketball,
led me to
football,
Penn
and
State.
track. Basketball, football,
Yeah.
track. Hmm.
Yep.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
usual. We the
Yeah.
usual. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So a lot of people will hear that and they'll say, you know what, he had a pretty smooth deal and got to where he got to. And people always say, oh, because you're super talented, it's super easy. What were the major challenges you faced doing all of those things? Like from start to all the way making it to college and even in the recruiting process, like all the things that went into Ki-Jana Carter ending up at Penn State. What were the challenges you had to overcome? Was there any major adversity? Is there a story in particular that pops out at you like, you know what? Like had I not, I wouldn't be what I am type of deal.
Well, I would say, I mean, if you look at the history of my career, obviously pro is more evident because it gets a lot more attention. I blew out my knee in the first preseason game, and the pro career didn't go the way that I wanted to, just like college. But I've been injured ever since I was like 13 years old. I had my first knee
Mm.
surgery when I was 13, in eighth grade. I tore some cartilage in my knee. Actually, ironically, playing basketball in our neighborhood, there was like a little ledge that I was doing a layup, and I landed on the ledge, and my knee gave out, chipped a piece of cartilage off. So I had surgery in eighth grade, and then high school. I had another surgery my senior year, that I missed 5 games. And then I had another surgery going into college. And the thing with me is I think just more for me, just helped me with adversity because obviously football is an aggressive sport and a lot of injuries do happen. Now, some people are very fortunate that they rarely got injured at all. No, so maybe they got pros or sometimes at all. But sometimes people get injured and then mentally they don't know how to. The mind is very strong, as we all know.
Hard to
And
bounce
what
back
they,
sometimes.
yes, yeah, it's hard about it because they've never been in that situation. So they're like,
Mhm.
oh no, what do I do now? I'm in a whole new kind of territory, new environment. My body's different. Am I going to be the same person I was? Now, for me, it was a blessing in disguise because I knew in 8th grade I had a surgery, and then high school I had a surgery. So when I had certain injuries, mentally I know that you know what, I'm young, I'm going to bounce back, or mentally I'm going to do what I have to do in the rehab part to make sure I do bounce back because just like you said, my goal was obviously when I had a chance, I wanted to go to college.
Mhm.
Nobody in my family ever had done that, so I had an opportunity. So I was going to exercise every option I could to make sure that I get myself ready because that was the goal I wanted. And then obviously college happened and blah 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 blah, and then started getting a little successful, and then obviously NFL has an opportunity. Well, now going into my last year, I injured my PCL ligament, didn't tear it, but in against Illinois in '93. So I missed the last 2 games, but then I came back for the bowl game, and they were like, "You got to wear a bulky knee thing." I was like, "Nah, it's not happening."
They ain't doing that. Right.
The game day, I threw it out, and I wore knee sleeve. I said, "I'm not wearing it." Because I knew mentally that was going to be like hindering, like, oh, I have a knee brace. I'm like, no, 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 no. If I'm going out there and play, I'm going to play
Mhm.
100%, 120%. And if I get injured, I get injured. But if not, no, it is what it is. So I would say that probably the mental part of it, because physically we're all gifted. You're gifted. Everybody in the NFL is gifted. Now some are well more gifted than others. Like you're a freak. You're a freak of nature as a linebacker.
Come
Nobody
on, man.
saw a 6'4", 240 linebacker running 4.4 like you. You was an anomaly. But for the most part, running backs, no, it was different. But for me, no, my size, I was a prototype running back. I was always, no, I love obviously Barry Sanders, the best ever. But I was probably more modeled after Bo Jackson in
Mm.
a sense where, no, obviously Bo is faster than me, but I was a track guy. So, I
Mhm.
ran 4.3 in high school, but I was 215, 220. And
Mhm.
you didn't see that combination either. If you're fast, you're like a 180-pound guy, 170-pound guy. And if you're a big guy, you're gonna be more of a fullback. If you're
Mhm.
big and husky, they're gonna put you at fullback. Well, with me, I had the kind of combination of both, and I attribute it to playing all different sports: basketball, lateral movement, hand-eye coordination, track, acceleration, and just being naturally fast. I was always fastest growing up. That the bigger I got, didn't slow me down for track. Well, in a football sense, well, obviously, when you get to track, when you're dealing like world class athletes, you're like, okay, you're 160, I'm 225. If I'm just keeping up with you, I'm doing good because I know in the football field,
I'm a roll
ain't
on
nobody
you.
gonna catch me. Ain't
Yeah.
nobody gonna catch me. So I would attribute to that was one the mental side of just like overcoming adversity with the injuries, but two playing all the different sports because all the different sports made me better as a running back, like I said, my lateral movement and playing football maybe better than other sports too.
Mhm.
And that's one thing I seen like kids now that I think I started seeing the generation. Obviously, you got the junior. The more sports you play, the better athlete you are. And if I was
Mhm.
a coach, do I want a football guy? Yes, I do. But I want to know: are you a good athlete? That I see you that you can play basketball, you can jump, you can shoot. Your hips, you got good hips. No, this and that. Track, no, or baseball. What kind of
Mhm.
acceleration do you have? More well-rounded athlete that has a football background, I like that better. And I just think that made me a better athlete in general.
You are built. You're built to be a tailback. I mean, if you were to draw up what a prototypical tailback should look like, in my estimation, I felt like they should have big legs, like big calves, little
Mhm.
ankles, and not so much upper body for surface to hit. That's hard
Mhm.
to deal with a guy that's built like that. And that's your prototype built. Like you had a smaller upper body and your engine was your legs. And that was, it was amazing how you always kept your body on balance, whether you were up or whether you were down. People that understand the running back position understand, like, if you can keep your pad level down and lower the surface area, it's a harder proposition to try to get a guy like that down. If he gets up in
Right.
that he gets in that outside and that gets into that open field and you see his body go up, it's probably bad. It's probably
Hey,
bad,
probably it's
right?
going to be bad. Yeah,
It's
it's going to
probably
be bad.
about to be bad. So, um, you end up leaving Ohio and you grew up in Columbus. How do you
Mhm.
end up at Penn State?
That was tough, bro. It was tough. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of pressure. Being hometown kid. Obviously Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman winner. He's
Yes.
from Columbus. Went to Eastmore. But besides him, I mean, we've had good players in Columbus, and the state of Ohio has good players. But in Columbus, really never had not trying to toot my horn or be arrogant or cocky, but didn't have
As good as
somebody who
you.
got a lot of national presence.
Yeah.
And no, in recruiting, we had a lot of good players, but they all went like somewhat like high D1, like Ohio State, like Big Ten, but a lot of them went to back schools and things like that. But back in 1990, in our area, I was probably the first one that really started getting a lot of national attention. This is even before like a lot of these media outlets has been out there.
Right. Right.
So obviously, in Ohio, as you know, basically it's a high state and that's it. I mean, you got the MAC schools and other schools, but Ohio State dominates the state. And
Even
usually,
the pro
if
teams.
you're yeah, for real, yeah, really,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So if you're a top player, 7 out of 10, because you're born and bred, raising up. I remember in elementary school, we had to learn the Ohio State fight song in music
Oh
class.
wow. Oh
It's
wow.
just crazy. It's crazy like that.
Hmm.
So a lot of guys went, and then now with me, obviously, had a lot of national exposure, had all these other schools, and sometimes High State is usually like the top school that's recruiting some of these kids. Where in Penn State, Notre Dame, Michigan, um, UCLA, I could have really went anywhere. So going through the recruiting process is tough, especially being going into my junior year because I was first team All State, going into the senior year because Robert Smith, me, him, and I think Ricky Powers were
Mm.
All State. They
Okay.
went on. Ricky Powers went to Michigan. Robert Smith went to Ohio
Went
State.
to Ohio,
So
right?
I'm kind of like the featured guy the next year. And so being Ohio State being a football a breeding ground, a lot of attention was brought on to me in general, and it was tough. I'll be honest with you because because I remember I playing all sports. So during the summer, like I would lift with my high school coach at midnight. I would get up, go play basketball with my basketball coach, and then in the evening I would go run track for Junior Olympics. And I was doing that, plus getting all these attention and news medias want to come by, you know, want to interview, and there was no phone call, so they would just show up and
Hmm.
things like that. So then from there, you just had to start. When you're young, you're friendly with everybody. Hey, hey, and then now you start getting all the attention. You just got shrink up, but you just got to be guarded and be more careful
Hmm.
to to yourself and what you're doing. And there was a immense amount of pressure, obviously being from Columbus and from Westerville to go to Ohio State, not only just from the university, but I mean family,
Of
friends,
course.
the town. I mean, because on Saturdays it's Ohio State Saturdays, and
Yes.
and for one of their own to be able to play at Ohio State, because I think we had one other player in Westerville named two, Anthony Giuliani, where his brother Robert played with me in high school, and then Jeff Davison in our town. So
Hmm.
summertime, that was the only two guys ever playing college. You're like, now you got this kid getting all this national exposure. We're like, hey, we want
You
you
need to
to
stay.
stay home. We
Right.
want you to stay home. So it was a lot of pressure. It was tough, and it really, really got tough towards the end because my senior year, after I my season, I had I had another quick knee surgery, but just going on the visits, and it ain't like it is now, like early signing, things like that. So as you know, like those 5 weeks, man, they are just coming at you, everybody, just
Everybody.
bombarding. And there was just stories of me like, hey, won't you sign our letter of intent and sign the other one, and you just mail one, the other one you keep, and this and that. And then at the end, I really think my mom kept me grounded because you start thinking second thoughts like, am I making the right decision? Should I do this and should I do that? Where my mom was like, hey, go where Mama Carter,
Yeah.
go where you're happy. She loved Joe. You happy here? If my style running, like I said, featured running back, things like that. And she said, don't worry about all the extracurricular stuff. That stuff is going to happen whenever that time happens. You got to go where you're going to be happy, because if you go somewhere you're not happy, it's going to be a miserable college experience. And don't
Mhm.
chase nowadays the NIL and the money and this and that. That money's good.
Yeah.
As you know, you're spending 20 hours of your day or 18 hours of your day with your coaches, your teammates, and this and that. If you ain't happy, you're going to be very,
It's
very
bad.
miserable. And
Mhm.
it's bad. And that'd be the one thing. So I went in the end. It was between Ohio State and Penn State, and then I just kind of followed in. It's like, where was I happy at? Where's my heart at? And that led me to Happy Valley.
Who started in front of you when you got there? Who were the running backs?
At Penn State,
Yes.
so my freshman year,
It
Richie
was like
Anderson,
Richie Anderson. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
Richie Anderson, Jerry Collins,
Mhm.
and then Sam Gash was the fullback.
Was the fullback. The
Though,
original,
yeah,
the
those,
original sticks.
yeah, bash and gash them. Yep.
Yeah.
So they were the running backs, and then we had JT Morris that came in. So I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know if you're going to allude in that if I'm jumping the gun, but like, so when I came, another thing that colleges were trying to persuade me away was because a lot of times you want to see like who's getting recruited, who's signing, and if there's a lot of people signing, sometimes people say, "Hey, I'm going
I'm
somewhere
gonna go
else
somewhere
because
else. Yeah.
too much competition." Well, with me, I think I signed last. So we had JT Morris and Mike Archie. He was
Mike
a state
Archie,
of
big play
Pennsylvania.
Mike. Mhm.
Yep, he was a player of the year in Pennsylvania. Stephen Pitts was an
Steve
All
Pitts.
American, New
Woo.
Jersey All American. I mean,
Mhm.
New Jersey Player of the Year, and then myself. And JT was Virginia's Player of the Year. And so, like all these things where people were like, "That's
JT
rare,"
was
as you know, with
odd
Joe.
man out. He was odd man out of that three.
No, no. Well, so at first, usually Joe don't recruit that many people. And
Mhm.
then, like with me, everybody was like, "Well, I was the last one to sign." I'm like, but I said, you know what? If I'm happy here because I had OJ McDuffie, like my big brother, and Bo
Mhm.
Neal and things like that, I said, if I'm happy here, if I'm good enough, I'm going to play.
Mhm.
If I'm not good enough, then maybe we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna at least go to where I'm happy.
Mhm.
So, our freshman year back then, Joe didn't like playing freshmen. In the early
Yeah.
'90s,
I
freshmen
know.
rarely played.
Yeah, I know.
But
Late
JT
late
Morris,
90s too.
but at least you got on the field though. You got on the
Yeah,
field.
that's true. I did get on the field. I did get
Yeah.
on the field.
So JT Morris coming out of Virginia, like I said, me and him were kind of built the same. Nice upper body torso was slim, big legs, this and that. JT was a pit bull, and he was kind of like a cross between the tailback and the fullback. And so Sam Gash was the fullback, starting fullback. Brian O'Neill was the fullback, but he was redshirting because he injured. They were saving a year for him. So JT played as a freshman, and they
Okay.
called it JT Express. If you look, so he played as a freshman, and so you look, you get envious, jealous, but at the same time, you're happy. Like one of our
Yeah,
class
yeah.
is
1 year
actually
class.
playing,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
you get happy. Um, so like that year, so after the season happened, people are like, "Well, what's going to happen? Is JT going to be the heir apparent, being the tailback? What's going to happen?" Now I don't know why, but then maybe JT wasn't happy. He transferred to Liberty.
Mhm.
His after his freshman season during the spring.
I could tell
So
you
that
why he
kind of
transferred as a fan, but you go ahead
I
and,
don't know.
run it the way you want to run it though. Go
I don't
ahead.
know.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, if we keeping it real, I mean, obviously there was things like not with JT. I was thinking about leaving. There was a couple of instances where we have our scout team, and it's been notorious, like how loaded our scout team was that year. All the people who played in the NFL and this and that. But as you know, a scout team, they got the cards designated. Basically, defense knows what's going to happen. The coaches make it so
And you
man,
were
I probably
still
scored
killing them.
probably like 70, like 70-yard touchdowns. And they're like, man, who do you think you are? The defensive players like Mark D'Onofrio and Kiko Gaines. And I'm like, if I'm killing you and you know the plays, that's what those guys going to do on the field. Well, granted, maybe those people on the field weren't as good as me, not being arrogant. But the thing is, I went to them and I was like, Joe, just frustrated, like, Joe. I mean, our team, we're like number 3 in the country. I'm like, so I'm shredding our defense. And we beat Cincinnati 81-0 our first game. And
Yeah.
they put everybody in the game. And I'm like, yo, treat me like I'm a scrub, like I can't play. I said,
He
Mom,
ain't
I'm
want
out.
you. He ain't want you to leave early.
I told Mom, I said, Mom, I'm out. She's like, what do you mean? I
Yeah.
said, these dudes are playing, no disrespect to them, but I'm better than them. And I can't get in the game and play. I said, oh,
Yeah.
I'm out. So I didn't even go to the locker room. I had my practice stuff on. I walked right back to the locker room. Somebody must have got a wince that I was
What
unhappy.
year is this? This your freshman
My
year?
freshman year,
Yeah.
91. I was
Okay.
like, yo, I'm
Yep.
out. I'm going to high state, sit out a year or whatever it is. I'm mentally checked out. Joe, by the time he had a locker room, coach was gone. Joe was at our old practice facility coming this way, and I'm walking this way. And he was like, what? He said, let me talk to you. I said, I ain't got nothing to say to you, coach. I said, this is a bunch of BS. I said, no disrespect. I said, there's no way that you play all those people. I'm not better than now. Richie, he's a starter. Okay, I get
Yeah.
what you're saying. Jerry Collins, he's the backup. But you got all these other people playing, walk on this and that, and I ain't better than them. I said, I'm not. What am I doing? You wasting my time. I said, I'm out. Ki-Jana, you know what? It's how Joe Tall got that little high voice. I know you're frustrated. We got some great things for you. We don't know if we want to waste your red shirt because back then you
I
play
knew
one
that's what it
game.
was. He
You
ain't
you
want you to
can't red
leave.
shirt. I'm like,
Hey,
I ain't thinking about red shirting. If I'm balling, play right now.
yeah.
But Joe wasn't looking at right now.
He's looking
He
at
was
long
looking at
term.
like our class because we had a number 1 class in the country. He was like, I
Woo.
want you to grow with those guys. So when it time's up, you can have an extra year potentially, or just whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry for rambling, but it brings me back to my high school coach. So my sophomore year, I started high school. I had 100 yards our first game. The second game, I had 100 yards, and then we played another team, and they beat our ass. They beat it down, and I didn't do that well. But my high school coach was actually my godfather. He said he took me in the locker room. He said, Ki-Jana, look, you had 100 yards, this and that, but no, this last game, and you see what's happening. Now you're gonna get beat up. I know it's gonna be tough, but I really want to save you, and I want to move you down to JV. Remember, I was a starting running back. I had 100 yards our
Right.
first 2 games. He said, I want to
Mhm.
move you down to JV because our football team, high school team, wasn't really good. Those guys are gonna be gone this year. The JV line is who we're gonna be playing with the next 2 years. And I'm like, Coach, come on, man.
That's
Varsity Friday Night
disrespectful.
Lights. I just
That's
seen it Friday Night Lights.
disrespectful. Yeah.
Friday Night Lights. And I'm sitting there like, yo, Coach. I said, I ain't feeling it. But I said, if you want me to, I said, I'll look into it because, like I said, we got our ass kicked that third game.
Mhm.
He said it. I'm not liking the way the team looked. So, will you try it? I said, all right. So the first game, I played 2 quarters varsity, 2 quarters JV. Varsity was getting beat up. JV, I probably had about
Every
200 yards.
touchdown.
I had about
Every
200
time
yards
you
at
touched it.
halftime.
Yeah.
And again, it's not necessarily about what you do on the field. Confidence, mental,
Mhm.
build up
Mhm.
your self esteem, feeling good about yourself, make the kids on the team feel good about yourself because
Good
these are the
about
guys you're gonna be
'em.
playing with. So I had fun. It was fun again. We were winning. We were blowing people out. So I played JV the rest of the year, and it did like kickoff return and things like that. But I didn't play varsity. And for that 1 minute when Joe talked to me, had me reflect back to, hey, what did my high school coach, my godfather, told me? Hey, I know you're unhappy, but there's a bigger plan for you, and this is what it is. So my mom was there. She was like, look, baby, no, just sleep on it, think about whatever it is. Don't rush to judgment.
Mom was
Give it a
there.
look.
You was out. You was out.
Well, but
You was
she came to
out.
games. She came to games, and I was going
Okay.
back to my locker room like, "Yo, I'm out." Yeah,
Right.
she was
This is
like,
after the game.
"After the game, yeah,
Okay,
after
I
the
got
game,
you. I got you. I
yeah,
got you. I
after the
got
game."
you.
Just
I
so you
got
know,
you.
they're up for the game. So
Yeah,
she was like,
I had
so
that
she was,
feeling. We've had that same walk
yeah,
and that
yeah,
same feeling, but Joe
yes,
ain't
sir.
come talk to me.
So
Joe ain't
she
give
asked.
me no big picture stuff. I was just out there like they don't want to play me. But
Well, remember, he
go
had
ahead.
to recruit me. He had to recruit me because I'm from
Yeah.
Ohio. The
Hmm.
high. So he was the kind of typical. He had to come in. You being from Pittsburgh, you see him a lot coming to arch rival territory. He had to come in there because Ohio was coming in. Notre Dame was
Ohio.
coming in with the,
Sure.
with all the heat. So she's like, just try it out. A couple weeks, whatever it is, you're happy in the season. You want to do a week? We can look at that. I was like, all right, mom. Talked to OJ. This my roommate Bobby Ingram was my roommate all through college.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ingram.
and it was just one of those things where I say, you know what? Then I took my frustration out at practice. Instead of me having three, I had about 5 or 6 long runs, and just kidding. I was like, basically, I'm helping you guys out, but these coaches say, you know what? I need to be playing. But I never did it to show up my teammates. So Mike Archie, Stephen Pitts, we were all run. I never came across as arrogant or a jerk to them.
Hmm.
That was me against
You putting it up. You putting it
Matt
on
and Matt.
film. It's
You know
you
what I'm saying?
against you. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's you against
yeah.
you.
So sorry
So
for
what
rambling,
happens?
but not.
No, it's all good. Hey, listen, it's great to hear the perspective because so many times, again, people think that it's easy for people. Like it's an easy road. You never had
No.
to go through anything. You never had to overcome the circumstances or overcome the odds. And so this is amazing. These are I didn't even know this. I didn't even know this about your situation. So you go through that your freshman year. Do you ever get in? Do you start to get plays? Does it turn into 92 becomes the year? How did it all play out? Because I know how it ended. I certainly know how it ended. How did it play out to where you get to, as you mentioned, the class that you were a part of? Um, it's got to be the most gifted, talented overall team, I would say, especially on offense. There's no question about it on offense, but a lot of people didn't give our defense that year a lot of credit, but there was some bad mamma jammas on that defense as well. I'd say it's probably the most gifted team to ever play there. How did it all end getting up to that buildup of the undefeated year there in 94?
Okay, so like I said, in '91, Richie Anderson was our starting tailback. He was a junior.
Mhm.
So after the '91 season ended, there was talks that he might leave early or might come back. So I redshirted. So next year I'm going to be a redshirt freshman. But Richie decides to come back. So he was the starting running back, and then I was the backup. So the '92 season, and for the most part, well, me, Mike Archie, and Pitts, we were kind of like
The whole time.
two A, B, and C. No,
Yeah, the whole time.
mixes in uh, within the game. So the '92 season, um, Richie is a starter, and then we went 5-0. We were 5-0, and then we played Miami at home, and we lost to Miami. I think it was like 14-10 or something. And
That was with Jesse Armstead and all of them.
Michael Barrow and
Michael Barrow and them. Yeah.
yeah, they were
Hmm.
bro. Well,
Yeah.
so after we lost to Miami, basically, no respect to our old heads and the old my big brothers on the team, but
Yeah.
leadership, we went from 5-1 to basically becoming 6-5 because I think we won like one game at the end because a lot of people just checked out. Like basically it was national championship or bust. We didn't win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so at our class, remember '91 we had a #1 class. The one thing I like about our class, we were always close, and we were close to this day. So when we got into after that season, 92 season, we basically said, hey, when it's our turn, because we knew eventually it's going to be our turn, we're not going to let this crap happen. I'll say.
You can say be real. You can
we're not going to let this
say how you feel.
happen because because you lose one game, and now we saw people out for themselves and all that. It wasn't about that. That's not how we were played. That's how we were raised going in from our scout team days. So the 92 season ends. We had a tough year. So this is the first year going into the Big Ten, 93. And that was one of the reasons I came here, because I came to Penn State because I knew they were going into the Big Ten. My mom didn't get to see me play in high school. She made a vow that when I got to college, she won't miss my games. So I wanted to be somewhat close that she can drive. And obviously Big Ten, as you know, in Ohio.
Right there. Everything's there.
All the if any might be on the outskirts. So 93 happens. And going into that season, it was still the triplets. Me, Mike Archie, Stephen Pitts. Nobody really knew. They had made a poster called Mount Rushmore. They had Joe and me, Mike Archie, and Pitts faces on the mountain.
I remember that.
Because they didn't really
know
who was going to be the starter. Well, I think they kind of did, but nobody really knew. I had the most yardage, but for whatever reason, it was still kind of up in the air. So going into camp that year, we all knew that we're all going to play. How much was going to happen? And now I'm like, okay, I got my feet wet last year. I had a few touchdowns, this and that. Now get to play more. I'm excited. And so the first game we played was Minnesota, Big Ten game. And I remember Fran Ganner was our offensive coordinator. And I tell this story all the time. This is when Martin just came out. And Martin came out Friday nights. Our games were on Saturday. Now, me and Mike Archie, out of the three, we were the closest.
People don't understand scheduled television like that no more, though. So all the people out there, Ki-Jana's talking about there was scheduled television, meaning there was a certain day. It was usually Thursdays and Fridays, primetime television on like NBC or CBS or ABC. And Martin Lawrence, the comedian. He had a show that was a sitcom that was mainstream sitcom. All right, go ahead.
So me and Mike Archie, we were kind of more like Pitsy was more serious. He's more, which is cool. Like, sure, me and Archie like the clowns, the goofy, and so every Saturday we would always say funny things that came from the show the night. From the night before. So we had a meeting in our running back room because this is a big deal. Penn State going to Big Ten, our first Big Ten game, this and that. And me and Mike were saying something about Dragonfly Jones, silence.
Oh, no, silence.
So we were kind of up. Frank Gainer comes in and says, man, what the F is going on? We got the biggest game that's going on in our school's history. And you want to start clowning and making jokes. You know me. I'm mild-mannered. I'm happy. I get along with everybody. Sometimes just don't piss me off. Don't trigger me.
Yeah.
I stood up. And I said, look, coach.
Yeah.
I said, look.
Yeah.
I said, just because you don't like the way we're getting ready for the game, you don't come in and tell me how to get ready. Now, that might not be how you want, but this is we want to keep it light. Don't want to be. This is what we do to get ready. Leave us the fuck alone. And so Brian O'Neill, he was like the senior leader. Key, calm down. I said, no, that's
calm down, Key.
Come in and do that.
Calm down. Calm down.
2 hours. You will come to me with this, tell me what I got to do to get ready?
Yeah.
I ain't having it. And so, but fast forward, and then this is before like headphones. So I will listen to headphones in the locker room. Guys never did that. I like listening to music. I'm a music head. And that's why I usually get ready. Joe's like, man, what are you doing with these headphones? And I said, Coach, this is what I usually get ready for the game. Leave me alone. When I'm in game mode, don't bother me. Whatever quirks I have, if it's going to let me do whatever, let me do. So that first game, Stephen Pitts started. He played, and we all played, and I played. I had like 120 yards on like 15 carries. I didn't know. So I scored a touchdown, and then we won the game, our first Big Ten game, and the media was like, "So, Ki-Jana, how's it feel to have your first 100-yard game?" Because back then the scoreboards didn't have.
They ain't have nothing up there.
That.
I had the same scoreboard as you.
I'm like,
we had nothing.
What? They said you had 120. You had 120 yards on 15 carries. I'm like, oh snap! So that's
right.
Crazy. I said I did. Now I'm looking. Now in high school, I averaged like 7 yards, like 7.2 yards a carry. I'm always about that. I want to hit a long one. I like the long runs. I like my carry average. They say 4 yards in a cloud of dust. I swear on everything. I never listen to that. Oh, go get 4 yards. No, that's not my thing. I might go up it. I'm gonna break a tackle, and I'm gone because I want to have 6 yards to carry, 7 yards to carry. That was all my mentality. I want to be better than what your status quo is. So I'm like, oh snaps. So after the game, Fran came and asked me to come to the meeting. Me and him, he's like, I want to apologize for whatever it is, this and that. So Iowa was our next game. So 2 Big Ten games in a row. I didn't start again. No, I'm sorry. Iowa. It was USC.
USC, okay.
And we beat them 21 to 20, whatever it is. And I didn't start again, but I had another 100 yards. And I didn't start. I'm not sure what Pitsy had and what Archie had, but I had probably had 6-7 yards of carry, whatever it is. I don't know. So the third game, Fran brings me back in, says, "Hey, I think we're gonna give you a shot this week to start." He said, "I think we'll give you a shot to start this week." I said, "Y'all done fucked up now." My mentality. I said, "Game time." I said, remember, I said my freshman. That's all I've been waiting. Just give me a chance.
Yes.
Now my chances came, and then next week we played Iowa. Had like 144. We beat them 31 donut or something like that, and it just progressed. But I never took that mentality. I was always satisfied. When the game is over, I had 120 yards. I should have had more.
You wanted more.
And there was always something from that game, and I always treated each week different. And I always had that drive. Said, you know what? I want to bust them. I want 2 bills. I want 2 bills. I want to do this and do that. And so that's what happened with 93. So 93, we were rolling. And then we get up and play the 2 heavyweights in the Big Ten. Ohio State, Michigan. We played Michigan the first game, and we lose a tough one to them. Another infamous time we're first or second goal on the 1, driving into our tunnel where the players come at on the 1-yard line. And this is where I think Joe started opening it up, taking us into the 94 season. But going in, remember the old school coaches, they motto. Who's the strongest? Who's tougher? This and that. He said, we're going to run straight up the middle, 3 plays in a row to see if we score. See if we're actually tougher than them. So first play, try to do it. I didn't even get a chance to try to jump. No, they stuffed us. The third down, he did it again. Same play.
Yeah.
He called a timeout. Me and Kerry said, Joe, I'm the fastest dude probably on this field. One of them. Pitch me the ball like we did in Minnesota. That pylon right there, I'm running straight to that pylon. If that guy catches me, I'm going to stutter him, whatever it is, I'm running right to that pylon. Nobody's going to catch me. So he called the exact same play again. Me and Kerry about to call an auto. I said, Kerry, need to pitch this damn ball. Run it to the wide side of the field. I got 30, 40 yards. If I got to run this way, I'm going to outrun him and then just lean.
And then turn it up.
And lean with the ball.
All right.
He's like, and then last minute we didn't do it. So we said, guys, come on up. And they stuffed us. We lost 14-10. That was the worst feeling I've ever had. So we lost.
Is it true that y'all started audibling in 94? Is that true? Because I heard that story circulating that the play would come in and Kerry be in the huddle and be like, Yeah, F that. We ain't running that. Like, and then call a different play.
Okay.
I heard that. Now that was urban legend, but I'm as the horse's mouth. Like, was that true?
So you remember, '93 is the first year really me and Kerry both played. Now Kerry was highly touted coming out of high school and all that, but he redshirted and he injured. He was backup. This is the first year he was like the true starter. So I think it was also earning the coach's trust, where we're gonna run the play right out, and that's it. Don't try to be all cute and this and that. So the '93 season, so we didn't do that, and we lost. And then we play Ohio State the next like 2 weeks later. Rain, cold, probably one of the coldest games I played in because it was like sleet. It was rain, snow, this and that, and we lost to them. They beat us up 24-6. I literally cried like a baby because remember I'm from Columbus.
Yes,
that was the circle. I wanted this game, and I sobbed like a baby. Kenny Jackson remember seeing me in the locker room. I didn't go in the locker room. I just sat there and just cried. I was so hurt. I was just so sad because I wanted to win it so bad. He's like, come on. Fast forward, remember, all the other years we lost week 10. Well, we were like, F this. We're going to blow out everybody else. We're going to take our frustration on everybody. So we went in and won the rest of our games, and we became second. Wisconsin won the Big Ten because back then you didn't play everybody. They won the Big Ten. We were second, and then we went into the Citrus Bowl, and we beat Tennessee. So after the '93 season, going into the off season, I get burned out with football all year round. Remember, because I played 3 sports: football, basketball, and track. So I told Joe, I said, "Look, Joe, I ain't playing spring ball this year. I'm running indoor track." So me and Justin Williams, Justin was the track guy in high school. Fast.
All right.
I was a track guy, but I was a football guy. I want to use it to help my acceleration and speed, but I didn't want to get bored with playing spring ball all the time. Just beating each other for no reason. I want to get my mind off of football, so when football comes back again, I get excited for it. So I ran indoor track. So going through the whole all season, I would be around the guy, but I wasn't practicing or anything. And then going into our senior or my junior year, now it's all our guys, our class, and then we have young studs underneath us, like Joe Jersey.
Yeah, like Jared Vicious and them. Yeah, yep.
So it was like, all right, now it's our time to shine. Now we got 2 years to put up or shut up. All this crap we were talking about we want to do in '91, we want to go undefeated. When we were '91, we said our number one goal is we want to go undefeated with our class, and we want to win a national title. We set out goals for us, and we help keep each other accountable for that. So going into during that '94 season, now I always went home for like a few weeks during summer school. They didn't make us stay. What they kind of wanted you to. Again, I need to get away from State College just for a little bit. Go home. We go train. And I went home and trained with Chris Carter, Scotty Graham, a place called Fast Program, treadmill program. So I did that.
Running back Scotty Graham.
Yeah, that's all
right.
But he was like when I was getting recruited since a sophomore, he was
at Ohio State.
He was always tight, and we kept.
Yeah, okay.
He's coaching at
Good dude.
Now.
Good dude. Yep.
So going into that '94 season, we knew obviously we went 10-2. Got a lot of people back. We lost like Tioga Jackson, Lee Rubin, Eric Ravati. So we missed some guys, but the core, especially on offense, is all back. And then on defense, a lot of guys are back. And then we had some guys that come in. We're like, so it was like, you really had to say anything. Like, we went 10-2. We lost the 2 games we were pissed off about. Like, we got something special. Let's continue this train. Let's not be happy where we were. We got something special going on. So we remember our first squad meeting, and usually Joe has the seniors go down and talk. And then I don't know if we established captains yet or not, but then the seniors got up. I got up too and walked down there. I wasn't a senior, but again, I just started myself more, being more vocal. Like Kerry's more, he's vocal,
quiet, laid back.
Quiet. Me, I'm jovial with everybody. I talk to everybody, but at the same time, I felt like I was a dog and say, no, I need to assert myself a little bit more and say, have this mentality. And so all the guys talked, and I said, look, guys, we got to treat this season like a ladder. I said, we got 12 ladders. to go to. We want to get to that 12th ladder, but get to that 12th ladder, we got to get to the first ladder. First ladder is Minnesota. We got to take it one step at a time and just keep grinding and focus on the day-to-day activities and stuff we do to help achieve that first step, then get to the next step. So going in there, we had a mentality. Then during the season, we always had people huddle up. We do the huddle up before the game. I said, everybody gather up. I'm the one. So I don't know if you saw me like on the Sports Illustrated book.
I remember.
So I took it where before we're on the field, before we break up to our positions, I always talk to the team before. It wasn't something that somebody, Fran, Joe, Bobby, nobody told me to do this. I just did it on my own. I just felt
we did that. We did that. We did that. We came together like that. Like it was a tradition that was. I didn't even know where that came from. I mean, that's where we go. We come up.
Yep.
Like we huddle up.
We talk
go ahead.
A little bit more of a pep rally. So it was just one of those things like kind of going to season. I just wanted to take more of a start, even though I was like had 1,000 yards a year before and this and that. But it's a new season and say, hey guys, we're all in. Let's go get this thing done. So that leads us to 94. You was asking about audibles. I think there was a lot of trust because of what we did last year. A lot of trust in Kerry. Kerry's just very cerebral, very smart, intellectual, read the defenses, this and that. So there was things that Joe let the offense do, or maybe we did that he maybe wouldn't have done it past. Like do it like check with me. Give Kerry 2 plays. Hey, these are 2 plays. You look at the defense and you decide which one you want to run. And things like that. The players are always really usually called into plays, but those are the type of things where you can see that I think he got to a point where Penn State had always been like the 14-10, rough, tough. We're going to beat you, bludgeon you. Where he had a bunch of sports cars in the.
I mean, all over the place.
Had me, Bobby, Freddie, the Archie, Kyle, Brady, Jervis. Yeah. You had all these sports cars. There's no need for you to keep them in the garage. Let these things shine. Let these.
They use that American muscle here and there, though. They brought Whitman and Millen. They brought the Rams in now from here and there. Like it was a perfectly balanced team, man.
But it was funny though.
It's a perfectly balanced team.
But a lot of the plays, I think it's a testament to how good our team was, because even though he would call a lot of plays, you ain't stopping it. There's nothing you can do. Just because of the people who are out there, our whole entire line, monsters. Like they all went pro, tight end.
Yes.
Look at there was like no, especially in college, there was like no play for the most part in the overall game that you might know you're still not going to stop us.
Yeah.
Because you had me, you had Kerry, you try to stop me, put it in the box. All right, we're going to check it off. We'll kill you with Bobby or Freddie. You want to jump off and pass coverage too deep?
We got Kyle.
Middle, or we hit Kyle up the seam.
Yeah.
There was so many things. We were just this is before stuff was even spread out. With the now, I could imagine things be spread out. We averaged 48 points a game. That type of style, a fullback, tailback, tight end, maybe 2 tight end. I mean, we probably averaged 60. And
I might have.
And also, kudos to Joe, which I'm not mad at, but he turned off the brakes. And we scored 40-something.
He always put the brakes on, man.
And 3/4, I played like 2 or 3 real full games.
Yeah.
And which kudos, you want other guys to play because I was in that position. You want
about to say
confidence.
That's crazy that Pittman was the starter because he ended up being he used to be cleanup. I mean, he came in as the cleanup, and he was good, super good.
Yeah, we all played a lot.
Mike would come in as the switch up guy. This is just my take on it. They would do more of the passes, the little short passes to Mike, and then they would bring Pitts in to it was like a
change of pace.
It was a change of pace. It was a change of pace, and I mean it was crazy, man. Because you think about it, you should have won the Heisman that year, and they literally were rotating 3 running backs in that backfield.
And obviously those are my brothers. I love them. And me and Deuce, we talk all the time to this day. After we played Temple, So we were blowing everybody out. We played Temple, and that's when I dislocated my thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And then they basically saying I was going to have surgery, and I'm like, okay, because my thumb wouldn't pop back in. I said, okay, I ain't missing no games. Well, I'm not missing no games. You're not here. If you're going to do surgery, do what you have to do. I ain't missing no games. So luckily, if we had a game the next week, I would have sat out because I had stitches.
Wow.
Stitches in.
Yeah.
We had 5 before we played Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ever see that, I had that cast on my hand. It was because of my thumb.
I do remember. Yes, I remember.
A lot of times when I would run the ball, I mean, like catching the ball, I couldn't. Now Archie was a better receiver, so I would always try to. Before I hurt my thumb, I would always try to look at him, see what he does, talk to him. Deuce, you catch better than I do. What are you doing? Just trying to emulate him because there's always ways I can perfect my craft. And I was, but even more importantly, when he got in, because I want to really feature my passing skills that last year. So I could catch the ball because it would be more and more dangerous, like Marshall Faulk.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Backfield, you break one tackle, who knows what could happen.
Correct.
But obviously that didn't happen. But everything worked out for itself. And like you were saying, like Rashawn won the Heisman. No, was I bitter? Of course I was bitter. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't bitter. Everybody probably who got invited, felt like they should have won. Rest in peace to him.
Yeah, but you should have won though.
I mean, if you look at the stats.
God bless. And he comes from a lovely. I got to meet his mom, hang out with his brother. Beautiful family.
Yeah.
But I did make it a point to let him know, though, I was biased. But that was even before I was a Penn Stater, that watching that season, I think anybody who was watching it felt like y'all got robbed 2 times. We got robbed of the national title and we got robbed of the Heisman. But, how does that like, so to kind of bring it full circle and to bring it into where you are now, Ki-Jana, how does that play a part in, because to do everything the right way, but not ultimately get the biggest rewards that are connected to doing it the right way, how does that play into, again, this game teaches us, right? The game of football, this is called the good of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Those lessons that you learned from the game during that time, how do you apply that? Like this, I'll wrap with this. How do you apply that in your life today? Because you are a super uberly motivated dude. You're an entrepreneur. You do so much. How does the good of the game and just like even just in specific, that moment where y'all don't get the national title, it goes to Nebraska. You don't get the Heisman, it goes to Rashaan Salaam. How does that play a part in how you approach your everyday life today, if at all?
Well, I appreciate it. And like you say, I say biased because you went to Penn State. I got a lot of people who always say things because if you looked at I'm going to guess put the stats out for a second. If you put our stats out, he had a 100 more carries than me. I'm not bitter. I'm not a bitter guy at all. But if you just look at the facts, he had literally 100 more carries than me, but only 400 more yards and 1 more touchdown. So if you extrapolate, if I had the ball 400 more times, or even 10 more times, or 50 more times, what would I have done? And that's the only thing it kind of me not just Rashawn, because Barry is ultimate stare. He did in a year. But I'm thinking like, damn, what if? You don't know. Barry had 2,600 yards, which is staggering. Granted, I would have to average probably. Now Barry had crazy more carries, but he had his yards per carry was high. Like if I had 100 more yards, let's say I had 600 more yards, I would have had 2,300 yards. That's pretty crazy. How many more touchdowns would I have had? I probably would have had about 10.
But can I add this? Can I throw this in there?
What's that?
What teams were they doing that against?
Yeah. Yeah.
See, to me, you got to take like that Illinois defense
number one
was one of the best defenses ever.
Yes.
Ever.
Hands down.
Ever. Mm-hmm. That Michigan defense was stout.
Stout.
They were that Ohio State defense was stout. That Wisconsin defense was stout.
Yes.
Minnesota plays defense.
Yes.
Iowa.
Yes.
People may not, and I guess they did start to realize, if they don't do nothing else,
no,
they play defense in Iowa.
100%.
So to me, I didn't look at. I looked at it if it was even close. If it was even close, you got to get it because of the level of competition that you were going up against, and y'all went undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
And that should have, I felt like that should have played. So I just need to inject that into the conversation. But go ahead and finish. I apologize. I'm sitting here making it about me because I'm fanboying out. This is National Football Foundation. I hope my people at the Hall of Fame see this interview and we're realizing that within the votes, this just has to happen. Like it's just you have to be in. You have to get into the Hall of Fame. But go ahead.
We'll see what happens. But if you look at our team, we beat Michigan number 5. Ohio State was 14, gave their worst loss since 1940. I think we played like 3 or 4 top 20 teams and blew them all out. But going forward, what I was just saying about like Rashawn, and it just had me thinking about myself. You say, well, how I feel. It was like, well, granted, now he had 2,000 yards. Hey, incredible feat. I don't care who you are. And that was kind of like back then. It's like you get 2,000 yards.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. He had a great feat. He averaged 6.9 yards carry. Hey, great.
Yes, he did.
So I don't want to take anything for him, but I'm like, okay, well, if you look at my stats, and the reason why I didn't have more carries is because it wasn't because I couldn't play.
You just didn't need them. You ain't need them.
We were blowing everybody out. I only played 3 quarters. But back then, again, there wasn't all these media outlets and people breaking down games and things like that. So, like when we lost when we beat Indiana 35-29, we're up 35-14. Mike Archie runs a 50-yard touchdown. They called a holding, a punt return back. They called his punt return back, and then Indiana's throwing Hail Marys against our 4th-string defense. They scored twice, but back then it wasn't on national TV, so they're looking like,
why is the score close?
Like, you see, I was out of the game, and they scored 14 points.
Joe didn't believe in throttling dudes. He certainly did it.
So you asked me how I feel. I think that's some of the Joe Pye effect, and kudos to him because, like, I'm used to it, never getting the praise that I deserve. It was, I feel like I deserve something, but I never got it. But I'm me. I know me in here. So I kept that. Mm-hmm. And same thing with our program. Joe, before we went undefeated, he went undefeated back-to-back seasons. And then he get the national title. And it's just like one of those things like when it came to Penn State, everybody respected us, but they rather give it to Notre Dame.
To somebody else, right, yeah.
For reason. Because we were blue-collar, not flashy, and maybe that's what it was. And he, like all the other coaches, they promoted their players. Hey, this is so.
We never did that. Never.
Well, he's part of the team.
Never.
Me and Kerry. He never went out and said, I think one of them should win it, this and that, which is totally fine. Because I'm a guy. But those are one of the things. So you asked me, like, how I feel. Am I bitter? No, because in the end, we went 12-0. I'm bitter they didn't split the national title.
Yeah.
In the Heisman. Heisman is votes. You're going to make people happy, some people happy. It is what it is. Some people will be bitter with you, be bitter with me because I didn't go to a Big Ten school or whatever it is. But what we did on the field, that's what really hurt me more. Because in the end, it's about our brotherhood. Because even though if I won the Heisman, without my 5 linemen, my quarterback, tight end, my 2 receivers, my fullback, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I did. So that was something that we had a goal we accomplished. We went 12-0. We won a national title. They didn't give us opportunity to do that. Every other time you guys split it, for some reason with Joe, you don't want to split it. And Tom Osborne winning his first one, I'm not saying that they don't deserve it, but how you gonna we don't deserve it?
Yeah.
That's where I should have been a split. But from there, I just you just say life is not fair, and it's life. You're gonna have adversity. I've had it going through this hour and 5 minutes we've been talking, you've been hearing they go through adversity, but what are you gonna do to bounce back? What are you gonna do to prove people wrong and show people and this and that? And for there, I just never say, you know what, I'm not gonna get bitter. I'm gonna get better. And I just take the mentality and say, you know what, I did what I could on the field, and it shows for myself. I get love. And when I first met you, I remember you doing that kickoff return against Ohio State. I'm like, ooh,
I'm getting on the field.
You're gonna be special. I told you.
I'm going to prove. I tell that story all the time. I said, if I can get Ki-Jana Carter and OJ McDuffie to get excited about me running down on kickoff, then I did what I was supposed to do during the game.
Right.
I tell that story all the time.
Yeah.
I wasn't pouting. I knew I should have been playing.
Yeah, hands down.
I knew I should have been playing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. I would never say I should have been starting in front of AC. I would never say Aaron Collins should be sitting behind me. But you could have rotated me in with him.
Right.
You could have rotated me with him. You know what I mean? But I was going to get it on kickoff. I wasn't going to be mad.
Take it out.
I wasn't going to get mad. I'm going to just take it. I'm going to try to knock the life out of somebody, or I'm going to be the first one. The biggest dude, one of the biggest dudes on kickoff, I'm going to be the first one in the end zone. And if Ki-Jana Carter, I remember the game. I remember you being on the sideline, you and OJ. Yep. And I said, if Ki-Jana Carter, if I can get their attention, I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So I go flying down that joint. Woo! Go down that. And all I can remember is I was running by and you was like, you was pointing at me like, yeah. Like I saw you do. I was like, as long as I got the GOAT doing what he doing right now, I'm good. I'm good.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
So it's good. I mean, like I said, I'm not bad. Like I said, again, so what I was just going to say is like, I did what I could on the field with the chances that I had. And going to, like I said, the College Football Hall of Fame, never in my wildest dreams, whatever, thought that I'll even be thought of in that realm. Even to be on the ballot is an honor. I'm like, dang, I mean, I haven't looked at the ballot for this year.
You and Courtney are on it for Penn State.
But I'm saying, but like everybody on it, I'm like,
it's a gang of them on there. Cam Newton is on there. Simeon Rice is on there. Takeo Spikes is on there. I mean, Eric Anderson is on there. There's a gang of just Flozell Williams is on there. There's a gang of them. Alex Brown. There's 3 Heisman. RG3 is on this one. There's another Heisman that's on there that was a quarterback. But yeah, it's a deep ballot. It's a very, very deep ballot.
Going to get and then the thing with me is, like I get like you, obviously you don't win all the accolades you did in college. That stuff helps. So with me, unfortunately, obviously I was playing running back and the person won the Heisman and the Doak Walker.
They won them all.
He was a running back.
Yeah.
So I don't like if the Heisman winner was, let's say, Kerry or whatever it is, then I won a Doak Walker. That's another feather in my cap. But now with me, I was the unanimous All-American. But
that's all you need, really.
I won it. He won Max.
Yeah.
He won the water cannon play. So like those things, sometimes I get not washed under, but don't get as much notice.
Yeah.
The guy who won it was in my same position.
Yeah.
But
you are unanimous, and you did go number 1 overall. Like I mean let's drop the mic.
Yeah,
let's drop the mic on that.
Exactly, like I said, I played my sophomore year, my retro sophomore year, and I got second team all Big Ten, but like you, 2-time All-American thing. I don't have those credentials on the back of my resume where some of these other guys, they play great college careers. When you think of Hall of Fame, you put me up, had a good season, a couple good years, but these had like stellar careers.
Yeah.
It's tough. But again, like I said,
I was Defensive Player of the Year sophomore year, dog. Still the only one to this day. They try to take that away too when they took them wins. Imagine that.
Yeah, because he left. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it is what it is. But like I said, if I'm in that conversation,
you in the conversation, bro.
I mean, and some people, whoever it is, recognize me to even be on the ballot. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad I had an opportunity to talk with you and to jog people's memory of who you are and what what you represent. I'll be the first one to say there is no LaVar Arringtons or Courtney Browns or any of us, that A. Harris's or the Kurt Enos's, or without a Ki-Jana Carter, man. And that's, you were the more recent hero. You got the DJ Doziers, you got the Blair Thomases, you got those guys, that the Charlie Pittmans and the Lydales. You got the obvious, the old school guard, but you were the bridge, as far as that group that was special back then, to the guys that were special like through my generation and on. That was like, to me, you were like, everybody talks about Saquon. I say, listen, you'd be hard pressed to get me, as much as I love Saquon. I love me some Saquon Barkley. You'd be hard pressed to get me to say that he was better than Ki-Jana Carter in college football. I mean, that's y'all two were special. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I say that to say this is what's good in the game, is having the ability and the opportunity to express yourself on, because you went detailed, bro. Like, this is the most detailed conversation I have ever had in terms of what happened. And it's, for me as a fan, that's crazy to hear you talk about it. But me as a player who I experienced a lot of what you're talking about on the defensive side of the ball, being around Joe and being in the building, it's cool hearing those things, because I didn't even know a lot of the things that you said, and from that angle. And so to me, is an honor to have the opportunity to interview you for this. I hope that this interview ages well, and we get to talk about it in Vegas when you get that call. I'm calling for it. I'm hoping that it happens. So, man, I appreciate you taking the time out, Ki-Jana Carter. And yeah, man, like, listening to you talk, if people can't understand what's good in this game, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't help you. If after this interview, I can't. If you don't know what's good in the game, listening to you, I'm sweating. I'm sweating. Like, I'm so amped up off of listening to you that I'm perspiring over here. You know what I mean? So it's good, man. It's good. I appreciate you coming on, bro. And yeah, I'll see you soon, man. And I mean, you got any strong predictions for this year? I mean, Penn State is going to be ranked pretty high. They got two good running backs coming and a stable of guys behind them. But I mean, Nick and Katron are some goons. Just give me a super quick, like, what you think?
Well, I mean, honestly, if you remember, I just told you a story about from our '93 season, '94. This was just like how this could be. That's got to be up to the kids. Now, how they, Drew Allard got to take, elevate, and all the other players got to elevate. But we had a disappointing loss against Notre Dame in the semifinals. A lot of guys decided to come back, kind of did like Ohio State did the year before. A lot of guys decided to come back. Surprised a couple more didn't come back, but they didn't. But now is a unique opportunity to take it to the next step. You got there, you smelled it, you opened the door, you peeked in, it was there for you. And
it was there.
The door was too heavy. But now, can you take that next thing and open that door up and go in? So I think the kids know how close we were last year and how we lost it, and then have an opportunity to get to the championship game. That use that as motivation. Don't forget it, but remember it in a negative way, but use it as motivation. And the guys have unique opportunity because of who we have come back. All the key people in offense are all back. We brought in some nice guys via the portal, and then we got some of these young kids last year who balled out. When like Abdul got hurt, this and that, they balled out. Mm-hmm. Now it's their turn. Hey, let's take it up now. Don't be just a place to be good. Don't be great. Dominate your guy. Blow like our mentality is like we knew how good we were. We saw our point. We want to blow these dudes out. I want to beat you by 30. Mm-hmm. Now we ain't gonna just come into the game thinking that we're gonna beat you up till we beat you by 30.
Right.
Take that type of mentality.
That's the mindset. Yeah.
You go and just, You have it individually, but you need as a team to have that mentality.
Yeah, have a whole
You can't
team.
go out there,
Yeah.
Jazz, we're going to dominate. And that's with anybody or any team.
Yeah.
So that's where you got to come up with that swag and that confidence. So that's where it builds up. Say, hey, we're here. We can't rest on our laurels from last year. We got to go out there and do it. Make these people this year respect us for who we are and take our frustration out on every team we play.
Love it, man. It's Ki-Jana Carter, man. Mount Rushmore of Penn State football players. Mount Rushmore of college football players. I mean, one of the most special players to play the game. Yes, I am biased, but nonetheless, it's true. The results don't lie, and the stats don't lie. And let me tell you, it's just been an honor to be able to talk with you. Hope you guys enjoyed this interview as much as I did. Till next time, guys. I mean, hey, make sure you check out the podcast. Make sure you check out the YouTube channel. It's National Football Foundation. It's Good in the Game podcast. You know what it is. We're just bringing the good gospel, the good works of what we, the people that have represented this game for as long as we have, bring to the table. So hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll talk to you next time.